Hello, and welcome to the Sunday meditation at the Sanctuary of Light and the Light Institute of Galisteo. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we divide our meditation into 3 parts. In the first part, we ask our higher selves to take form. It's the intuitive essence of your soul. It's your own inner voice. We have it take form so that as we sit in meditation, it begins to align us to our true selves. And so we ask it to take form, we draw it into our bodies, and we sit in meditation. And I'll make a little om sound so that you can push the button on your apparatus, and that allows you to meditate for as long as you like. In the second part of the meditation, we reach up into the cosmos with our consciousness, and we draw down a beautiful beam of white light down through the top of our heads and bring it down into our stomach, which is the center of our emotional body, this solar plexus. And as we exhale, we laser that white light out across our planet and back up into the sky. And in this section, we just continue to draw the white light down and extend it out. That will help you to go into a very deep state of meditation. Another little sound, om. And then in the third part, each week, people suggest ways for us to take our consciousness, our energy, and extend it out as a gift into the world. And this week, because at least here, within 2 days, we're going to be celebrating Valentine's Day, Saint Valentine, and that concept of giving and receiving love, being loved. And as I contemplate Valentine's Day, I like to expand that so that it's about our power to love and our power to feel loved. And we want everyone on the planet to feel loved because it's human nature to need, above all things, to survive, to be happy, to heal, is the sense of love. And so we're going to send out a sense of being loved out into the world, and so that everyone can feel that. We can not only love our sexual partners, our romantic partners, but we can love our families, we can love our animals, we can love our world. And it's all just different aspects of the power of human love, of the human heart. And so we want to expand that, and so that everyone can access a sense of being loved. Let's begin. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply in through your nose. Hold it at the top for a second. And then, as if you were whistling, slowly exhale your breath. As you exhale your breath, it's bringing you into a meditative state. Once again, breathe in through your nose. Hold at the top and exhale slowly. Ask your higher self to take a form for you. It could come in as a beam of light, as a person, not as a person you know, but as a beingness, a tree, an animal, even an equation. Just ask your higher self now to take a form that you can align to with all of its qualities and its energies that relate to something your higher self is wanting to access in you at this moment. Do it now. Your higher self to touch the place in your body where you hold your divine essence at this moment. And just imagine that touch anywhere in your body. And bring your conscious awareness into that touch and breathe in and out so that you feel as if the touch of your higher self is creating an opening. And then draw your higher self in through that point into your body and sit in meditation as your higher self. Om. Take a deep breath into your body and reach up into the cosmos and imagine that you're pulling down a beautiful beam of pure white light down through the top of your head, down into your stomach, your solar plexus, and from there you're lasering that white light, the radiance of all radiance, out across our planet and back into the sky, into the cosmos. And as you breathe in, you draw it back down through you and exhale it out across the planet and back into the sky. And just keep up that rhythm for as long as you like. Om. And now, in celebration of receiving and giving love, of the sense of being loved, imagine that you could bring into your mind's eye all 8 billion people on this planet and ask them what frequency of light, what color they need from you to feel loved. Because it's only when we feel loved that we actually are able to give love unconditionally, without the buying and selling, but just the beautiful extension of pure love. So bring them into your mind's eye and ask now, what color do they need from you to feel loved? Whatever color comes into your consciousness. Again, reach up into the cosmos and pull exactly that color down through the top of your head, down into your solar plexus, and laser that beautiful light out to all of humanity so that they can have an experience. That light travels across the ethers, it's beyond time and space, and extended to all of humanity, giving them the quality of light that will activate a sense of being loved for them, so that they can in turn give love. Do it now. Take a deep breath into your body and open your eyes and know that you are a loving being and that your love heals everything and everyone, beginning with you. Thank you. There is a second section of our meditation here. It's called Knowings. And each week from around the world, people send in questions that they would like for us to explore in order to uplift ourselves and everyone who is participating. And so Allison will tell us the questions that have come this week.
The first question is from Horgen, Switzerland. It's off of Lake Zurich. My beloved son has chosen to quit the planet Earth in April 2021. I am rereading Chris's books, and I did meet her in Fulda a few years ago. My question is, can I still send him colors? And another question, how can I help him to forgive himself for what he did? I will really appreciate very much any support. Looking forward to your reply.
Well, light in all of its speeds and dimensional frequencies is the energy, the divine energy of communication in the cosmos. And so sending light to people will always illuminate for them truths, energies that perhaps had been lost to them. Typically, when people leave their bodies, they go into a resting place, a beautiful resting place that corresponds to their own experiences, where they have some kind of an energetic balancing there, of looking at that, all that has happened from a spiritual perspective, from the point of their soul. When someone commits suicide, they don't go into that light. They go into a darkness. And that darkness is like a circulating pool. It doesn't receive light. It doesn't have changes. It doesn't have time or space, this astral place. And so if you send light to your son in that place, it will help him to begin to shift up and shift up. And again, it is an illumination that allows us to forgive ourselves. You can't really provide all of the reasons why he's a lovely person, a good person, and should not hate himself, because his hating himself may be coming from unconscious experiences that he has had in other incarnations. It's not about you. He didn't do it because of some lack with you as his mother at all. But he did choose you as his mother. And that provides you with a key to know that it is your love now that can facilitate for him. You can't do it for him, but you can facilitate for him being able to go higher and higher. And in a moment we will do a little exercise for him that is the way that we help when people in their lives to go into the light, so that he can break free of that circulating darkness and simply go home where he belongs in the light. Because there is nothing that we do ever that tarnishes the soul. It's simply the incarnational aspect that causes us to forget who we are, to disconnect from our divine source, no matter what you have attempted to show him or taught him as his mother. In fact, as a being with whom he's traveled a great deal. So again, when you're asking him, you want to ask him what color. And this is interesting to me, that when people move into higher octaves after passing, they're no longer in the body. They're no longer your son carrying this energy that they carried in body. But when they're caught in this purgatory energy of self-hatred, they do hold cellular memory and cellular coagulation of that being that he came into and came out of in this particular lifetime. So if you hold him in your mind's eye and then ask, it's an echo really, what frequency of light he needs, this one who came as your son, who took his life, to remind him of who he is. And then you draw that from the cosmos, again, as we were doing before, and send it out through your solar plexus to him. It will begin to shake him loose from that mud, from that terrible energy of self-hatred, of that darkness that he placed himself into because of not remembering or honoring that he chose to come and that life is sacred. And he is not stuck with that forever. He will not be. The second part is something that we do here at the Light Institute when we're clearing incarnations of the soul, because we want to be released, even if it's a wonderful lifetime, we want to be released of all the points of association because they may not serve our consciousness or our experiences now, and simply go back into the light and have that illumination. And so I will explain that to you now. And this is something that you can definitely do with him. And that is to first imagine his higher self. Again, the higher self is the intuitive essence of the soul. So ask his higher self to take form, whatever form it comes in. That form is not tarnished, it's not damaged, it's not a lower energy, it's a higher energy. This is true. It's just true soul self, not just the incarnational embodiment. So ask it to take form so that you have a sense of it. And then ask his higher self to bring to him in this place that he is. Some people call it purgatory. It's just a dark place that has sealed off from the light. To bring to him, just as we did at the beginning of our meditation, a beautiful beam of pure white light. And to bring it down and to laser it out in front of him. And that light, as it comes towards him and passes, that it is like a moving avenue of white light that is going up into true frequencies of light, higher energies of the soul. It's going home. We all go home to the light. And so when you feel as if his higher self has created this avenue of white light, then simply whisper to him, go home. Where those that love you are waiting for you, go home into the light. You belong there. You are ready now to return and leave all this behind. And just imagine that he is stepping onto that avenue of white light in his energy form, or even if you see him as in his human body, it makes no difference, but that you perceive that he gets onto that avenue of white light, and he will, and that he just travels up and being released. And then I think it's very important to mention to you that the love that we have for our children, the love that we have for anyone, is to return them to the light, not to forever hold him as your son. He's been your partner, he's been your parent, he's been your teacher, he's been your adversary, he's traveled with you again and again. You want to free him into the light, not hold him back, so that he can do this evolutionary passage, this wonderful spinning up in his own travels through the evolution of his soul. And so I know that it's hard to let go, but let him go and know that now it is your turn. You also have a purpose beyond being a mother, that once someone has moved from their body, it's really that signal that now you must reinvent yourself and find how you use your love, how you use your wisdom, how you use even your mothering energy in new ways that support you. You have the right to do that. You must do that. At some point, there will be that communion again of all the souls with whom we have traveled. But it's a very high frequency. It doesn't carry body. It doesn't carry hats of mother and son. It's much more. I hope this supports you as I do. Great love to you. Allison?
The second question is from Visby, Sweden. Dear Chris, there is an expression that familiarity breeds contempt, and that once we become familiar with someone, they become less important to us, and we are less able to see their brilliance and value. How can humanity stop this ingrained reduction of others due to familiarity?
Oh my, this is really a universal conversation that exists in every culture and every pattern of relationship on this planet. And I like the word that you use, that reduction. You know what happens there is that when you have a partner and you begin to mingle with them, your auric fields begin to sort of come together. And what happens there, and this is part of the reason that we choose people, is that we see them initially as something that reflects something about us, that we will be more powerful because we see them as powerful. My higher self always says, the more powerful you are, the more powerful I can be. We have trouble living with that one because very often, again, as we become familiar, as we live day to day, and we see all those little things that don't bring us happiness or don't allow us to feel that we are expressing ourselves. In most cultures up until now, we have really had this totem pole thing of who has the power. And of course, when we have a totem pole, what we do is we try to break away. because everyone wants to be king of the mountain, but that's not what time it is. Partners now must, or friends or anyone who relates, must find that way to acknowledge, not degrade, but acknowledge through their familiarity the greatness of someone else. And that takes familiarity onto a new octave, which means that, and this is something that I say when I'm marrying people, when I give my little, how can we have a perfect marriage or a perfect friendship or whatever it is to imagine that every time that you wake up with this person or that you see this person, that you look for who they are at this moment, how you can love them better. And the more that you see a relationship in terms of an adventure, not just a reflection of yourself, because mostly we belittle ourselves, we degrade ourselves, and so then we project that onto our relationships. And sometimes we do it through self-righteousness. I don't want them to be more powerful, more wonderful than me, so I belittle them so I will feel better. And yes, we as humans need to be able to dissolve that. And so the way that we can dissolve that is by knowing that you are, even if someone is a baby, they're not a baby, they're a fully developed soul. And if you magnetize them into your life, there's a reason for that. And you could spend this lifetime for sure discovering that. The qualities that they have that you see in them, they are in you as well. And so what you want to do, instead of degrading them, you want to begin to look constantly and to engage with them, to help them and to help yourself have adventures that makes your relationship new, not just familiarity. I expect you to like the same foods, to be the same political being, to see the same body. It's not true. Life will never be that way. And so it insists that we create this incredible adventure of relationship through which we teach ourselves to find the very best in someone. If you feel them to be brilliant, continue to draw that from them, because the more that you reflect to them their brilliance, the more they will show you brilliance that you can find in yourself and that you can play with. Relationship can be a play, a beautiful play. We humans are at the planet of the heart. Now we need relationship. And so familiarity is a skill to know that you're familiar with one point, but where are the rest? And if you look at it in that way, you will always have wonderful, exciting, adventuresome relationships with whomever you are relating. Great love and happy Valentine's Day. Allison.
And the third question, the final question, is from Washington, D.C. in the U.S.A. Hi, Chris. From the halls of democracy, I beseech you to give one of your wonderful exercises in consciousness in knowings, to help all of us on the planet to change for the better, and to change with grace, rather than being forced into change by necessity because we are on the brink of disaster. I just think this would be such a relief. With gratitude for your work.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes. So let's, when you talk about that change, I presume you mean that things happen. Economies fall apart, bodies fall apart. The earth creates tremendous dissolving of our comfort zones, of our way of life, and that those are the changes that are pushing upon us. And every young person, it's part of our evolution, and here's the key, knows that they have to find new ways of living, not just what has been there before. They must change. But the essence of change is not just going from this to the answer over there. The essence of change is evolution. The evolution of our consciousness. And what would happen if we begin to evolve our consciousness is that we could perceive what would be useful to us all, what would bring joy, what would bring happy lives, what would bring this sense of a soul family on this planet, that we are all related, that we are safe because we have each other, and that we are moving in an evolutionary cycle together. So the exercise in consciousness that I would put forth is to ask the higher self of all beings on this planet to give each one a tool that will quicken their consciousness, that will quicken their evolution, so that they can realize that our purpose and our destiny here is to look out onto this world and say, as every child does, I want to help. How can I help? Because the more that you realize that your presence makes a difference on this planet, the more changes that you can create. I have observed that sometimes just smiling at someone, talking about something inane to a stranger, just a few sentences, can change their auric fields, can change their perspective, and maybe their lives. And so that's what we want to do. We want to have a sense that we are evolving and ever finding new ways to express our purpose. And that purpose is never going to be isolation. It's always going to be that we can get ahead of the game by knowing what is needed and what would bring joy, what would bring health, what would bring safety to ourselves and to everyone on this planet. So let's just imagine that the higher self is giving a tool, and we will see a tool that the higher self shows us, and as it echoes out, that each one can take that tool in. Talking about the halls of democracy, I love that you said it that way. Because what is democracy? Democracy is a way of allowing each one to participate, to express, but to do it within a hologram, a communal, energetic, of communication, of honoring. And that's evolution for us as humans, for sure. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath into your body. And bring all of humanity into your mind's eye. Because no matter what political structure in which some country exists, there is always that seed of democracy. It's not one way of living. It's an essence core of our whole evolution within body, of how we grow and how we find ourselves within this context, this global context, this community context, familial context, and the context of ourselves and our own true higher selves. So bringing all of that into your mind's eye, just ask humanity what tool it needs now. A tool is something that helps to illuminate consciousness, that helps to create that forward motion of consciousness, of beingness, of doingness, of presence. So what would be the tool that humanity needs that can be given to the higher selves, and that will extend it within the consciousness of each being, that will allow us, all of us, to find that point of evolution, so that we don't feel forced, as you were saying, forced to change, otherwise we wouldn't survive. It's not about that, but the power that we were born with to be the giver, to put something forward, our presence, our love, our intelligence, all of that, our doingness, our beingness, in such a way that there is a change, and that change is in its highest form of spiraling up evolution of the soul. So take a deep breath now and just ask humanity to bring to your mind's eye a symbol or an object or a color that would give them a tool of evolution, of evolving their sense of self, their sense of purpose and destiny. Again, symbol, object, or color. And let it come into your mind's eye now. And then imagine that you are reaching up into the cosmos so that the higher self, the true essence of the soul, oneness, can bring that tool in whatever form you perceived it down through the top of your head into your solar plexus, and from there laser that tool out and imagine that it's penetrating, that it's moving in to all of humanity. And as it moves in, it might flicker that form, that tool, in different ways. But that all you have to do is take the form that came to you, bring it down from the cosmos and extend it into humanity, and let it begin to create this wonderful, evolving, conscious reality. Just keep drawing it down, keep feeling as if it's coming through you, and you're sending it out to all of humanity, and humanity is embracing it. It's being given the gift of this that will help each of us to evolve, so that the change is one that not only changes ourselves, but changes who we are with each other in our world. A little bit more. Feel that tool anchoring in there. It's making me smile. Humanity wants this. We are ready for this evolutionary leap. Radiate it into humanity now and feel a shift, a receiving, a changing, evolving that occurs instantaneously. And take a deep breath to your body and open your eyes. Such lovely, lovely opportunities that we have at every moment of our lives. And I send you all my support and my great, great human heart of love.